So here's what we're thinking for spring. Can you guys see this okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll email this out too. And what we're thinking is kind of a plan of meeting every other week, and then with some bonus sessions. And then, yeah, let me just talk through these a little bit. So the first time we were going to meet would be on January 10th. And I'm hearing that some of you guys are meeting in person. So if you wanted to meet in person and then just like if you were meeting at Bethany or in a home and wanted to put the Zoom up on a TV so everyone could watch that first, we're going to be presenting on Strength Finders for like the large group portion of that. And then we were going to send you into your small groups anyway. So if you met in a home or at Bethany, you could still meet in person and get the content. We could make that work pretty easy, I think. So the Strength Finders, these first two times, anybody familiar with Strength Finders?
Yes.
Yeah, Raul is, of course. So they're from Gallup and they have, I think it's 30 some different strengths that they've identified. And then there's an assessment that you take and you find out your top 5 strengths. And they're in a few different categories, but they really help you think about what areas, the ways in which God has gifted you and wired you. One of mine is that I am a relator, and so I like, and a connector. So I like putting all the pieces together. Another one is intellection for me. So I like thinking about things, if you didn't guess that one. That's a strong one for me. Jara, I love, she's got the gift of woo because she can win anybody over. Like that's a huge, really great gift. And so we had heard from some of the groups that this kind of assessment might be a great way for them to discover more about themselves. So we're paying for the youth version of this for all the kids. And then we'll pay for, I don't know if we talked about this specifically, Wendy, but having the adults do the adult version. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Sorry, Liz was just asking me if she could have pie. I know. And the answer is yes, there's chocolate pie here. So we want you guys, if you don't know what your strengths are from Strength Finders, we'll have you guys take that as well. That way you can help see what the process is like, and B, help them kind of discover their gifts by knowing what yours are too. So the assessment itself takes about 30 minutes. So during that first night on January 10th, we would actually allow that time for them to get on their phones and take the assessment. It's all digital. They'll each get a code that they'll enter in and then take the assessment, and then they'll get their results right away. So you guys will have some time, a little bit of time that first night to share what they are and first impressions. But the second time you meet, we'll have a lesson plan with questions and ways in which for you kind of to discover more what those strengths are and like how they relate to your faith life. And I think that's going to be really interesting and powerful about thinking about how they've been wired uniquely and how they could use that in their faith life. So that'll be the first 2 sessions. Then the next 2 sessions that we've got planned are based off of our Bethany Basics. We thought that since the kids are going to be full members, that they should know what we tell our members at Bethany. So John is creating we'll create some videos based on the sessions that he does with the adults. He'll make them more youth friendly. But he talks about things like how we're saved and what the impact that Jesus saving us has on our life. So a real basic recap of Christianity, and he's got some great visuals that go along with that. And then he'll talk about kind of what he shares as the expectations for members of Bethany, and that's what he calls the 111, that you'd spend an hour a week worshiping God and like working on your relationship this way, that you would spend an hour a week in a group, kind of growing your relationships through conversation and through prayer with others and that accountability, and then 1 hour a week serving in the world. And so that's kind of the high bar goal that that are marks of strong Christians, that they do all three of those things kind of each and every week. And I can see from your own lives that you guys are people who do those kinds of things. And maybe it's not, an hour each week. Maybe it's, you serve for 3 hours one Saturday. It doesn't have to be super wooden and law-based, but just to give kids an idea of like, what does it look like to live out their faith. So those will have the video components of John, and then discussion questions for you guys really to kind of explore that. And like I said, I'll send this out so you can have that. And then I don't really know if you guys remember the crosses that kids made 2 years ago, but they were pretty thick foam boards crosses, and we had the kids decorate one side of the cross and have them kind of tell what they believed in their story of faith, and express that in a variety of ways. And the crosses turned out really cool 2 years ago. Like, they were really great. So I have high hopes that your guys' groups will do really amazing things. This year we decided that one side of the cross would be kind of your relationship with God and the impact of God's love on you. And then the second side of the cross will kind of be how you live out your faith in the world, and how you can serve people. So, that's where putting like your strengths on could happen. Putting the people who's influenced your faith could be put on a side of the cross. And we'll have all this kind of fleshed out and explained in lesson plans. My goal is to get that all done before January, so we can just give you all the lesson plans. And I always have big high hopes, but we'll see how far we can get. We will have another kind of large group time. Hopefully maybe by the end of February we could be in person. If not, we could do the same kind of Zoom thing. That way we can introduce the idea to everybody and get you all on the same page, and then we'd send you into breakout rooms to work on that. If we have to do it all on Zoom, we'll have to send out the crosses or have people pick up their crosses and supplies and things like that. So I'm hoping that maybe we can do that in person, hopefully. So then you have 2 weeks kind of to work on that. I put on here some bonus sessions as you're planning. A fellowship event is always something fun. A service event, if you wanted to do the packing the lunches or some other service event, and all those kinds of things could be. And there is March we left really open, because there's spring break in there, and then there's Easter. And so how all these pieces kind of fit together in your schedule, so you can kind of wiggle around with that. So when you get this, our hope is that you would kind of fill this all out and have this ready to distribute by January 10th. So we can tell everybody January 10th, everybody's meeting at 6:30, and you'll get your rest of your schedule that week, or sooner if you guys have it done. So you would fill in the location and the specific time. So if you're a Sunday or Wednesday, if you're earlier in the day or later, all those kinds of things. And then you can fill in the locations based on. So the Faith Fair is an idea that Barb dreamed up, that I and Wendy and I just loved, and Pastor John really loves. And in non-COVID times, it would function probably like everybody standing in the gym, and they would have their cross decorated, and family and friends and congregation members could come and see their crosses and ask questions about their cross, and the kids could share a little bit about their faith and why they made the cross the way they made it, and what kind of big pieces are on there that could do that. Because of COVID, I'm not sure how open we can be, but we'd still like the kids to share their crosses in some sort of way. Wendy thought about instead of trunk or treat, it could be, what did you call it, Wendy? How did you phrase it?
I don't remember.
Trunk your faith or something, I think it was. But the kids could hang their crosses out on their trunks, and then we could maybe do that outside so that they could still see and make that work. But
I got to tell you, it was awesome. We met in the gathering place, I think, and we had all kinds of beads and glue. And I mean, Wendy, you remember, it was just phenomenal. And the girls loved it. I had 100% participation for that event. The crosses, still have pictures of the crosses. I took pictures of each one of the crosses, and I tell you, I made a cross. I don't know what happened to my cross. It's somewhere at church. I have no idea. Don't remember. Anyhow, but it was, I really am for that. I really would like to do that. And I would really like to do it in a large group. Because maybe I'll have a vaccine by then.
maybe, I mean, yeah.
So Cheryl, the crosses prepared, they decorated the crosses before the faith fair, and then they displayed the faith fair, but they also did other activities. Is that the way I understand it?
No, we didn't have a faith fair.
Oh, okay.
What they did was they displayed the crosses at the confirmation ceremony, Pam.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was still, believe this or not, it was just very powerful. The way the girls, just the way they made them and how much fun they had doing it. And it just, I definitely, that's my opinion. I definitely want to do it.
Yeah. If nothing, we'll definitely have them displayed at the confirmation service.
Right.
But we wanted an opportunity to have them be able to share with a wider audience because they were so good. And to, not in non-COVID times, to share that with the whole Bethany community, because, these are our kids and they've done so much work, and we just want to celebrate them and celebrate their faith. We put the January 10th and Sunday, February 28th as times we definitely want all the groups meeting at the same time, just for ease. And we found that it helps the groups to have those kind of benchmark times to pull you all back together. The flexibility of the schedules are great, but to have a few times that everybody is meeting, even if we're not meeting in the same space, is helpful. Where everybody's standing with next to their thing, and then it's kind of an open house, and so people can come up to you. And so they would have to probably talk to people, but if
one-to-one more so.
yes, one-on-one and not in front of a large group. Yeah. If somebody's really against like doing an art project, we can talk about other ways that they can do this, whether that's like a faith paper or some other video that they create, or some other creative way that they can express their faith. We thought having the cross be kind of the main primary way just helps everybody decide what they're going to do and take some of that out. But if you have a student that is really struggling, we can definitely look at other options. Yeah, we talked about the possibility of what if we can't do that, like creating a slideshow or a video that would show all of the crosses. Wendy puts
That's a good
together
idea.
a video usually of pictures of the kids, right? Is it a baby picture and a like current picture? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that, we can include a picture of their cross as well. Or, there's probably some cool slideshow thing where we could have them write, 3 or 4 sentences to describe it and then post that with, I think last time they named them too. Didn't they put a title,
Yeah.
their name?
Yep.
And so then they could write a brief description of it. So yeah, there's other ways we could share that, through social media or the internet, if we can.
That's a great idea to be able to do it that way.
Yeah.
Just in case Claire, just in case.
Yep.